What's up, YouTube? We're back here today to talk about the Alpha Foxtrot Romulus. And as you can see, mine looks way different than you guys first saw here a couple videos ago. And I'm here to talk to you guys about this gun in its stock form and the reason why it looks like this today. So first of all, let's start by saying that you don't see the black background behind me today because the missus took it for the weekend. So you're gonna have to deal with my mess. But let's go straight to the video and let's talk about this gun and Alpha Foxtrot as a company. So let me start by saying Alpha Foxtrot is putting out some really nice guns. I mean, they all look really good. The Romulus, the S15, and even their 1911 lineup, you know, the single stack, they all really look good and they feel like quality guns. A few things that I think should be different is their internals. They are all MIM internals, and in my opinion, for the price point, they should start putting tool steel internals in their guns, just because you now have competitors with guns that are less expensive than Alpha Foxtrot guns, and they have better internals. So that is one thing. The second thing is, if you want to buy an Alpha Foxtrot, I highly recommend you to buy from a dealer. Buying from the website, you know, they have some lead times out there, and 99% of the time they're gonna go way over those lead times. So I ordered this gun. I was told it would take like 4 or 5 weeks to get to me. It took more than 12, and I mean, it is what it is. You know, I got the gun now, but that is not something that I like. I prefer that companies under promise and over deliver. Tell me it's going to take 12 weeks and it takes 10, then telling me it's going to take 4 weeks and it takes 8. So, you know, that's just my opinion on them as a company. But let's talk about the gun itself. You guys saw a couple videos before where I did like a tabletop, like a bench review of this gun, showed a few features, showed you guys the overall length. But just to recap, this is the 3.5 inch with the comp, so it brings it to like a 4.25 overall. And the gun feels very well balanced, feels to be like of quality, well built. It's a pretty tight gun. It had a very good trigger in the stock form. So the trigger came to me at 2.75 pounds. A very crisp break and a very short reset, exactly how I like it. So those were all like, I was pretty excited to try this gun out. The compensator was something that I was preparing myself because I knew it would underperform. So I was already expecting that when I went out to shoot this gun. But I feel like even though I was expecting that lack of performance, it was even worse. The gun felt it was not even a compensated gun, to be fairly honest. I mean, it shot well, it was accurate, but it did not feel like it was a gun with a compensator. So I knew I would have to work on the compensator, and I was fine with it. What I was not ready for were the light primer strikes. More than 10 times I was shooting the gun, pull the trigger, click, nothing happened. So I would go ahead, wreck the gun, grab the ammo that ejected, inspect, and there it was, light primer strike. And I kind of felt the mainspring was a little too light when I was like handling the gun before, but I didn't think that would cause any malfunctions, but it did. When the gun shot, it shot very well. It shot like a 4.25 inch without the compensator, so there was some recoil, and it did have some light primer strikes. Other than that, I didn't have any other issues on the field. But then I came back home and decided, I was gonna go ahead, open up the compensator, change the grip, change the internals. And when I removed the mainspring, it kind of felt like it was like, if I had to guess, it's probably like a 13-pound mainspring, which is extremely light. So I went ahead, put a 19 pounds in there. As you guys can see now, I have an Atlas grip with their magwell, Atlas trigger, and I also put EGW internals in this gun. I went ahead and started doing some work on the compensator. It doesn't look bad. I mean, it doesn't look horrible, but it obviously doesn't look very professional. So at some point, I will send this out to DSC Gun Works. Dave works on, you know, most of my stuff, or I got a bunch of stuff from him with his work already done. And he always does good work. So I'm probably going to send this compensator to him to, you know, open it up professionally for me. But what I can tell you guys is I went ahead, changed a bunch of stuff in this gun, and I'm not telling you to do the same, but I feel these are needed upgrades, other than the grip, obviously, but I feel like the other parts were needed or would for sure make this gun better. One other issue that I had after doing all the upgrades on the gun was the optics plate. So what happened is, you know, I mean, right now I have the RMR Type 1 on the gun, and it works great. It's zeroed. It held zero. The plate's still like very tight in there. It didn't loosen up anything. You know, everything is still tight. But I did remove the RMR Type 1 and I put an SRO on it because I wanted to have this gun set up for competition. And when I tried to zero the SRO, I would go all the way down with the dot, bottom out the adjustment on the SRO, and it would not match my point of impact. So I reached out to Alpha Foxtrot. They did tell me this is a known issue, so they are sending me a new optics plate. This was beginning of this week. So it's been like 3-4 days. I haven't received a tracking or anything in the mail yet. So, you know, hopefully it gets here. Otherwise, I'm still going to be using this RMR Type 1 for the time being. And we'll see how this gun performs now. But let me show you guys here in the detail this gun with the Atlas grip, Atlas trigger, Atlas magwell, EGW internals, and the opened up comp. And I'll show you guys the trigger on it. Very small take up, very crisp break, 2.5 pounds, 2.75 pounds, and a very, very short reset. So this gun right now, it is set up for competition. I would like a bigger optic, so you know, whenever the plate comes, I'll put the SRO on it and I'll try it out, come back here, and I'll tell you guys if it was worth it to, you know, put the upgrades on the gun, open up the compensator. I think overall this is still a very good gun. I would say that their MSRP is pushing it a little too much, in my opinion. If they had tool steel internals and you know, a bigger compensator, that would 100% be a buy at that price point. But at their current price point, you still have some work to do, in my opinion, to make this gun great. So I would say it's pushing a little too much. I mean, nowadays you have many other options in the market, but I mean, they are still very good looking guns. And I love the DLC coating on them, and I love how they look with a tri-top. So this is, again, my honest opinion about it. Very nice gun, very good gun, but it is, I feel like it's not ready out of the box. So if you want to support the channel, don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, and stay tuned because we're going to have more. Thank you.